everybody comes along, we're going to slide all the way across. Now, if you look right above you, there's an animal spotting guide up there. That'll help you identify some of the animals you might see. Might not see all of them, but you normally have pretty good luck. All right, on the right side, watch your arms, hands, legs, and feet. Doors are sliding closed. A couple of rules while we're out there. First and foremost, please remain seated at all times. Also keep your arms and hands inside the vehicle. As we say in Harambee, let's go. If you have young children sitting on your lap, that's fine. Just make sure they remain seated. All right, we're going to hold here for a moment until we get the all clear. My name's Lewis. I'll be your safari guide as we head out into the Harambee Wildlife Reserve. While we're out there, I'm going to ask, please do not call out, whistle, or try to attract the animals to the truck in any way. That's for their safety as well as ours. Conversations, comments, they're fine. Just please keep them at a minimum and at a volume that doesn't alarm the animals or disrupt the guests around you. If you're going to take pictures, keep the cameras and cell phones handy. You never know when the animals are going to pop up. So picture of a giraffe can turn into a really cool picture of a tree if you're trying to get a camera ready. Yeah, the foliage is nice, but I think the animals are way cooler. All right, once again, 20, let's go. All right, that was a high-speed portion of our safari. It's over. If you're going to throw your hands up, yeah, that was the time. All right, we're entering the Little Ituri Forest, and here a lot of animals depend on natural camouflage for protection. If you look on the right side, there is an okapi sitting there, or standing there. The white stripes on the legs make them look a lot like zebras, but they are related to giraffes. If you look at that face and head, you might see that family resemblance. On our left, beige color right here next to our path, and on the right side as well. These are greater kudu. Now these are females, and we know that because they don't have any horns. Only the male kudus have horns. And they are the second tallest antelope on the reserve. The male's horns are actually the longest horns of all the antelope, almost 6 feet in length. I saw a bongo back there behind the bushes. I'm trying to see if I can find some more that are more visible. Now they're actually known as a ghost of the forest. Kind of makes sense that we can't see them very well. On the right side, up just above the bushes up here, there is a saddle-billed stork. They get their name because of yellow saddle-shaped crest they have at the top of their bill. They stand about 5 feet tall, wingspan about 9 feet across. Males have brown eyes, females have yellow eyes. We've way to tell them apart. Across the water on the left, there's a black rhino laying there. Black rhinos can weigh about 3,000 pounds fully grown. Very, very endangered. There's only about 5,000 of them left in the entire world. The horns on rhinos are not actual horns. They're not attached to their skulls, and they're made of keratin, like our hair and fingernails, instead of bone. Those horns are the reason that they're hunted, and we do support several groups that are working really hard to educate people about not using rhino horn products. Hopefully at some point in the near future that poaching crisis will come to an end. We are entering the Salty River area. Rivers and watering holes are really important to the animals. We're going to be looking for hippos. Now, the hippopotamus is one of the largest, and they are the most dangerous animals in Africa. Now, full-grown males can weigh over 5,000 pounds, and we're going to look down in the water for them. They spend most of their time in the water. They can hold their breath under for about 5 to 8 minutes, depending on their activity level. Very territorial animals, and that drives a lot of their aggression. All right, we look to the left, there are quite a few hippos right there. Now, a group like that is called a bloat of hippos. They can actually fall asleep underwater. They have this special reflex. When their body needs air, it will automatically rise, breathe, and then drop right back down for them. On the islands, pink-backed pelicans, they get their name from the color on their backs during their mating season. Now again, hippos spend most of their time in the water, and while they can swim, they normally run or walk underwater. Pretty cool, and it works really well. They move extremely quickly down there. And while they don't have a typical runner's body, they're also really quick on land. They can run up to about 20 miles an hour. That is way faster than most of us, even riding a bicycle. Alright, we're going to cross a bridge, and we are going to do so going poli-poli. That's Swahili. It means very slow. Over on the left, Nile Crocodiles. Look at the big open mouth. It looks a little bit scary. It's actually one of the ways that they regulate their body temperature. They're found all over sub-Saharan Africa. They can reach about 16 to 20 feet in length fully grown. In the wild, they're around 40 years. In captivity, about twice that long. We're going to change ecosystems. We're going to move into the Serengeti grassland. Just ahead on the right side of the path, there's going to be a baobab tree, also known as an upside down tree. If you look at the branches, you'll see they look a lot like tree roots, giving it that name. And we are heading into the savannah, home to some of the most famous animals. The animals here shape the landscape with their eating habits. Elephants push trees over for food. Giraffes eat the under canopy of the trees. Grazing animals eat the grass. All that combined gives the savannah that very clean, open look it normally has. Look at the under canopy of the trees. There's almost a straight line all the way across. That's as high up as the giraffes can reach with their mouth. Those trees are delicious to them, so they eat everything that comes below that point. Over on the right, kind of hard to see, but there's some little guys on that path called Springbok. We'll see if we get a better look later. Springbok got their name because when they're alarmed, they start jumping or springing. All the way across this clearing up there on the right side, those are mountain zebras, also known as Hartman's zebras. They have a very dense stripe pattern across their head, neck, and back. When we get closer, you'll notice no stripes on the belly. See, I just saw some sable antelope. I can't find them now. Oh, they were somewhere over there past the zebras. Oh, there they go. If you look at that truck ahead of us, follow to the right, you can see a kind of reddish brown animal going into the bushes. That is a sable antelope. And again, we're going to get a lot closer in a moment. Look to the left. There are African wild dogs known as painted dogs laying right on the path right here by the logs. They look a little bit cuddly. They're not. Yeah, they are the most successful predatory mammals in Africa, more than lions or cheetahs or hyenas. If you ever get a chance to hear them, they don't bark. They sound like squeaky toys. Really, really cute. Makes you want to go there and pet them. Don't do it. It's a trap. Now the sable antelope directly ahead of us now, they have these curved horns, and they are a deterrent to predators that might want to jump on their backs. If you ever look at the logo for Harambee Wildlife Reserve, that's the animal on there. The reason they're on there, Harambee means to come together. Now when sable antelope are threatened, instead of scattering or running off the way other antelope might, they actually come together and face that threat. So pretty cool. And we're going to get a great look at these zebras coming up. As we come around the turn, look at the bottom of their necks. There's a little extra skin hanging there that is called a dewlap, and they're the only zebras that have that, and that regulates their body temperature. Smaller hooves than normal, that lets them use cracks and crevices for climbing. Baby female right there on the left, she is about 10 months old. Very cute. Termite mounds all around. When they wear down like the one on the right, animals like the dogs or antelope will climb up there, and it gives them a great view of the savannah. The savannah is kind of like a super highway for animals. Millions of them migrate back and forth every year. And it's an important ecosystem to protect. A lot of animals have had died. One of the ways they're able to keep up with the rains and water, stay out of dumps. Alright, just ahead, right by that truck up there, Ankoli cattle. Look at the horns. That's a big bull with his back nose. Look at the span of the horns on that guy. Now, kind of a neat thing, as we're coming around, if you get a chance to look at his horns and the people on that truck at the same time, that gives you an idea of just how big those horns are. When we go by, we're sitting really high up, so it's kind of hard to tell. So we get a kind of, yeah, maybe a little bit. His horns are about 5 feet long each. Their horns are made up of a honeycomb material inside, and blood flows in there. They're like radiators. That regulates their body temperature. They're also known as Watusi cattle, named after the tribe that domesticated them. Out in the clearing, directly, let's see, to the right of that other Ankoli cattle, those are Springbok. They're actually coming down that path as well. That's the one that I saw back there earlier. So you get a better look at them. Now they have that dark stripe and the white belly. They kind of look like little Savannah s'mores. Now Springbok are one of the fastest land animals. They can run up to about 60 miles an hour. So highway speeds on those little tiny legs. They jump really far. It's called pronking. Very cool to watch. Wildebeest up there, gray color. They get their name from the Afrikaans for wild beast, easy enough. And there is a female giraffe, mature female right there under the palm trees. Giraffes are the tallest animals. They top out at around 20 feet. These are all Maasai giraffes. They have that irregular kind of jagged pattern on their coat. Short horns on the head, or the ossicles, like I mentioned with the okapi. Now, a group of giraffes standing around is called the Tower of Giraffes. If that group was on the move, it would be a journey of giraffes. Yeah, let's see if we can get another view. There you go. That's a much better view now. Now, giraffes have one of the largest hearts of any land animal, and one of the highest regular blood pressures. And you can imagine it's going to take a lot of pressure to get the blood flowing all the way to that long neck. Mature giraffe like that in the wild, as long as she's standing up with her head up like that, she doesn't have any predators. Giraffes can kick in every direction. Predators know that, so they keep a distance from them. Now, if she were to lay down or bring her head down and drink water, that would make her vulnerable. The cool thing is they don't really have to do that very often. Giraffes can actually sleep standing up whenever they want, and they do so quite often. And they can go for about 3 weeks without drinking any water at all. So if there's a predator around, they can just wait them out. All right, really cool. Look to the right. There is a bull elephant just on the other side of the grass. Elephants are the largest land animals. Full-grown males average around 12,000 pounds. This guy's pushing about 15,000. He is a very, very big guy. On the left, mandrills, largest of the monkeys. They're kind of all over the place. If they're not moving, it's difficult to see them. Look right under the disc. There's one sitting right here with his back to us. Look to the left of it. There's another one right behind a tree. Now, they all have red and blue on their snouts. Think Rafiki. Rafiki is a mandrill. And as we come around the turn, if you look back, we got a better look at that bull elephant, I think. Yeah, there we go. So that guy's almost 15 feet tall. For perspective, that's the clearance under a typical highway overpass. If he was standing next to our truck, he is about 3 feet taller than the canopy above you. Very, very large elephant. Their herds are made up of females and the young. When the males reach maturity, they have to leave the herd. When they're younger, sometimes they'll join these small bachelor groups. As they get older like that one, they end up living more solitary. Mature males get really aggressive and unpredictable, so just not really safe for them to be around at that point. Alright, we're going to go poly over another bridge. As you can see, it does not look great, and as you're going to feel in a moment, it doesn't really feel that good either. The good thing is it does hold up just fine most of the time. And we're clear. All right. All right, on the right side there are tusk marks. Elephants will eat red clay. That provides them with minerals missing in their diet. It's like a supplement for them. And And there's some elephants ahead. Now, researchers here at Harambee Wildlife Reserve found that elephants are really afraid of bees, so they developed beehive fences for use around farms. And when the elephants bump the fence, the bees come out buzzing. The sound scares the elephants away, and we avoid a conflict between them and the farmers. That is always a good thing. There's some elephants right up here. Now, you'll see most of them are going to be covered in dirt. They spray that on. That's like natural sunscreen for them. Their skin looks tough, but it is pretty sensitive. You see them flap the ears. A lot of blood vessels in those ears. When they flap them, the air circulating cools the blood, and that cools on their body temperature. There you go. Really good look. Mature female right there. That's her little daughter way back to the left. And you see what she just did? She just put a bunch of stuff on her back. They will use grass or anything else to cover her and shade from the sun. That's pretty neat. She's about 3.5 years old, by the way, but she's the baby of the herd. And there's mom. That's the older daughter right there. Big sister over there between the rocks. They'll live about 60 to 65 years on average. Their childhood is about the same as ours, around 15 years, where ours is around 17 or 20, 25 years. It depends. Just around the turn, there are greater flamingos. They're the largest and the lightest in color of the flamingos. And they get their color from the brine shrimp that they eat, which is really high in keratin. As we come around the turn, you'll see there's these flamingos with gray feathers and dark legs. And those are baby flamingos. As they get older, they're going to eat more and more of the shrimp, and they're going to develop more and more of that pink color. A little bit of traffic up here, but it does look like we're about to start moving. There we go. And if you notice, those babies are pretty much the same size as the adults. They're, I think, right on 3.5 months old. And doing a little stomping in the water there. Brings up stuff that they can eat. Now, one of the questions we get about the flamingos, why are they standing on one leg? And nobody really knows that for sure. Some people think they're trying to conserve body heat. Some people think they're resting. Everyone agrees, if they bring up that second leg, they are going to fall. That's science. Look at the elephant all the way across. She's got a lot of breakfast going there. Brunch, maybe. Alright, really cool. There is a rhino right here. So we're going to make a point not to make any loud sounds because they can react to sound, and that's a bad thing, as you might imagine. That is a white rhino. And they've been playing in the mud. You can see that mud pit has had a lot of activity. Oh, really cool. Scimitar horned oryx laying down over there. They get their name because of the horns. And we're going to keep an eye on this rhino because it's kind of heading towards our path. So right now that rhino can hear us. It smells us even better. It really can't see us very well. They have terrible, terrible eyesight. And we're just going to give it a little bit of room to get across. They need to be about 10 feet away before they can see us clearly. If you watch the ears are going to pivot around. That's how they keep track of what's going on around them. Oh, look to the right. There's some more rhinos over there. And again, we're just going to come by nice and slow and quietly. A group like that is called a crash of rhinos. If you're wondering what separates them from us, we do have that log right there. They average about 5,500 pounds. They can run at 35 miles an hour. That's a pretty incredible thing for an animal that size. If you ever get a chance to see them running, it is wild. All right, on the left again, scimitar horned oryx. So here's a really cool thing. These guys can go up to 9 months without drinking any water at all. They get their water from the vegetation they eat. Here's a not so cool thing. My very first safari, as soon as I said all that, one of them walked over and drank water. Yeah. There's a cheetah lane right there on that clearing with its back to us. Fastest land mammals. They can run well over 60 miles an hour. They have teardrop looking marks under their eyes that help them with the glare from the sun. And they're one of the few big cats that will hunt during the daytime, so it's pretty helpful. They have a very long, thick tail. That tail acts like a rudder. It stabilizes them when they're running really fast. Helps them make better turns. There's a couple of cheetahs. Look just over these bushes, all the way back there under the plants. A couple of them laying down. Very cool animals. On the right, some water bucks in the bushes up here. A really cool little heart-shaped nose. Very long hair. They secrete an oily substance that makes them water repellent. Helps them swim really well, and that's their defense mechanism. When predators come after them, they jump in the water and they swim away. And you see another one right there. Rock formation on the left is called a kopi. Animals climb up there, gives them a great view. Looks a lot like Pride Rock. That's no surprise because lions love hanging out up there. As a matter of fact, look directly to your left. There's a male on the lower rocks, female just above him. That makes for a pretty cool picture. Now, lions are one of the few big cats that will hunt as a group or a pride, and it is the females that do the majority of the hunting. It takes a lot of energy, and they will rest or sleep about 20 hours a day. They're nocturnal, so this time of day, that's kind of what they do. And look at that, very cool. And we're going to stop again because I think this makes a really neat picture. Look at that. Beautiful. Beautiful. Now we're going to post that on social media, hashtag best safari driver ever. And it's an option. I will not remind you that my name is Lewis. I don't think that's right. I won't do it. If you look way back to the left, there's a warthog at the base of that tree. If you look through the bushes on the left. Largest burrowing mammals in Africa. Trying to see if we can find some more. These are tusks for digging and for defending themselves. If you look straight to the left, actually, look towards those greenish rocks back there. There's a couple more hanging out back there. Closely related to domestic pigs. Very, very aggressive. There's another rhino up here on the right. Luckily we have all that tall grass. And there's the other ones actually coming over. So again, if you watch the ears, they're going to pivot. That's how they keep track of where we're at. Look at the mouth. You see how wide the mouth is? So white rhinos get their name from the Afrikaans word weit. It doesn't refer to their color. It refers to how wide or weit that mouth is. That mouth is perfect for grazing. They are herbivores. They can actually gallop like a horse. All 4 feet will come off the ground when they're running. If you ever see that, it's a pretty incredible thing. If they're ever running at you, it's a really scary thing. A group of them is called the crash, and there's a reason. When they hear things they don't recognize, they want to investigate, and sometimes they do charge. Now, when they get close enough to see what's in front of them, they normally try to stop or turn. Sometimes they can't. You have that crash. If you do the math, 5,500 pounds running at 35 miles an hour, it's not going to stop easily in 10 feet. Kind of a cool thing with the lions back there. If you've ever heard lions roaring on TV or in the movies, especially at the beginning of a movie, what you're hearing almost every time is actually a tiger. They use a tiger's roar over the lions. Hollywood decided way back in the beginning that that sounded a lot cooler, and that is what they've been using ever since. So if you ever get a chance to hear a lion in person, it is going to sound a lot more like an exhale, kind of like a long cough or a long throat clearing. It's still really cool though, and it does carry for miles. All right, with that, we are at the outskirts of Harambee Village, and that does mean, unfortunately, our safari is coming to an end. If you want to see more animals, you can walk down the Gorilla Falls Exploration Trail. A lot of cool stuff. If you're interested in helping protect wild animals, you can reach out to any of the conservation associations out there, including our own, and you can make donations, but really anything you can do to raise awareness is going to be helpful. That could be as simple as sharing photographs or videos you've taken, having a conversation, talking about some of the issues facing the animals. All of that does help. Kennedy, look at the second waterfall on the left. A lot of people think it looks like an elephant climb. Okay, that kind of. Now here in Harambee, we don't say goodbye to the permanent. Instead, we say Kwaharini. Kwaharini means to go well, and I really hope you guys go well. Have a great rest of your day, either here at the park or wherever your day might lead you. Before you leave the truck, check